Are you ready to transform your normal e-commerce business into one that experiences exponential growth year after year using online advertising? If so, this show is for you. Me and my guests will show you how you too can grow your e-commerce business to 7 or even 8 figures so you can go on more luxurious vacations, spoil yourself and your family, say yes to more opportunities, and become financially free so you never have to worry about money again. Welcome to the E-commerce Performance Marketing Show. Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Ecom Performance Marketing Show. So I have a powerful episode for you today. I'm going to go over how to get more attention with your video marketing ads. This way you can capture clicks, you can get more clicks at a cost-effective rate, and you can get people to actually go to the sales page you're promoting with your product and buy your product. So what I'm going to talk to you about today are 5 different archetypes for pattern interrupts. Now let me just explain first off, what is a pattern interrupt? So a pattern interrupt is something that interrupts the what people expect. So when they see a video during the first 10, 15 seconds, those 10 or 15 seconds needs to interrupt a typical pattern that they see. It has to surprise them. It has to capture their attention. And as you can imagine, this is huge when it comes to video marketing, especially with video ads, because in the first 10, 15 seconds, you have to capture people's attention. We live in the 21st century. It is 2020. We are on our phones so much these days, right? And so you don't have a lot of time to capture people. You have to, when you get their attention and they see that ad, they have to stay on it right away. And that's why you want to use pattern interrupts in your video advertising, because without something like this, they'll see you talking about your product or they'll see a video of your product and it won't surprise them. It'll be just like every single video ad that they see, and they'll just keep scrolling through their Facebook ad feed or YouTube. They'll click on skip. And so you want to have pattern interrupts to capture people's attention right away. So this way they stay where they're at. They are like, oh wait, what is this? And then they watch that video where you're taking them through your video ad and you're talking about your product and your offer, and you're getting them to click through and go over to the sales page or your website, wherever you're sending traffic. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is I'm going to talk to you about 5 different archetypes that I've identified that can work very, very well to get people's attention, that you can use in your video ads, that are all powerful pattern interrupts. So this way people stop and they click after they have seen your video because you captured their attention and you've kept their attention, okay? So this is gonna stop people's attention, and then you wanna keep people's attention with where you take them afterwards. And we'll talk about that during this episode as well. So first off, let me talk about 5 different powerful archetypes when it comes to pattern interrupts. So the first one is dispelling false beliefs. So think about that for a sec and relate that to what you sell in your business. What are some false beliefs out there in your audience, in your markets, that's related to your product, that you can dispel, that you can negate, that you can cancel out with a strong statement to capture people's attention in your video ad? I'm sure you can come up with some of those, and those are powerful. So if you can dispel a false belief right away in the ad, that's powerful. Now, also when you take that and you make it into something that has imagination behind it or creativity behind it, that also could be very, very powerful as well. For example, there's a specific video ad that we've created where we're dispelling a false belief about e-commerce companies not being able to get more than a 200% ROI from their advertising. And we're using the metaphor of you've been underneath a spell. And then we kind of go into this crazy, weird tangent from there, but it captures people's attention. People are like, wait a second, what is this guy talking about? What am I watching here? Because they're seeing a wizard, they're seeing magic, they're here, but they're relating it to their e-com business. And that consistent challenge that a lot of e-commerce businesses run into, where they have a hard time getting to a 2x plus ROAS from their advertising ROI. And so there's an example of dispelling a false belief. And I guarantee you that there's probably many different false beliefs that you can dispel in your video ads, in your pattern interrupts at the start of your video ads. So write that down, brainstorm on it, isolate yourself, get away from any distractions, and just brain dump ideas that you have related to that you can dispel, that you can negate. There are false beliefs in your marketing about something related to what your product does, okay? So that's one. Another one I have for you is, this one's pretty simple, but this is like a before and an after. Go from XYZ to XYZ, which could be experience, impact, or benefit of your product that you're selling in your business. And this can be done with a pattern interrupt very easily. This could actually be done with like a cartoon, for example. And you could order these from Fiverr, or you could find someone from Upwork, or you can pay a premium and go to a great business that does this professionally, like the Draw Shop, a former client of ours. Shout out to Eric Kerr of the Draw Shop. So you could come up with some sort of before and after that captures people's attention, that takes them from what they're expecting with the average product and what they could get with your product that's completely different, that blows away the average product, and that shows in a visual and an audio what that means to them. You know, what is the experience? What is the impact? What is that benefit? And show it in an easily consumable form, like a cartoon, because we all love cartoons, because we all love being a kid again. So use cartoons, and they're easy to get ordered from Fiverr. So test that, come up with something like that, go to Fiverr, order it from a few different providers. This way you can kind of compare and contrast. You can maybe even test them all if you wanted to. But this way you have a few different samples of pattern interrupts that you can use to start your video ads. Another one here is the opportunity cost metaphor. Now, what do I mean by that? So I'm gonna again kind of go back to my business. So what we promise with my ARM5 formula, whether it's the Done With You Accelerator or the Done For You agency, is we promise that companies are going to see a 300 to 600% average ROI from their advertising when they've implemented the entire ARM5 formula. They've really optimized it, and they're managing it on a professional level, whether it's with us or they're doing it and I'm coaching them on how to do that. And we've seen that happen, you know, with all of our clients at the agency and the ARM5 Formula Accelerator. And so the opportunity cost metaphor here is, you know, what if you were to let this opportunity pass you by and you won't see that impact or that benefit or whatever that outcome is that you provide through your product in your business? And what's it going to cost them, you know, versus something else that they could buy that's similar or somewhat identical to what you could be selling them in your business. And even put a spin on it, like related to something. Like, for example, I came up with this related to, what if you bypassing the opportunity to purchase this incredible product? What if it's like that dream girl that you regret walking away from, that you didn't take out, or that dream girl that you dated that didn't work out because you made a mistake and you wish you can go back in time and change that mistake? Well, don't be that person. That's why you want product A, so this way you can achieve X, Y, Z. You can use some sort of pattern interrupt like that in a metaphorical form that people will resonate with, because we all resonate with loss. We all resonate with pain. We've all felt, you know, heartbreak before. So go ahead, use that. I guarantee you that could work very, very well, especially when you have a good, strong visual behind it, whether it's in a cartoon form or whether it's in a film form. Maybe you hire a few actors and they act it out, you know, or you just speak on camera and you talk about it. That could work as well, although I do recommend having some sort of visual instead of yourself, at least in that first 10, 15 seconds as you use a pattern interrupt to capture their attention, and then segue them over to talking about your product and the offer that you have with your product. And I apologize, I just got braces in earlier this morning as I record this, and I'm still getting used to using these Invisalign braces, so bear with me. Okay, so the next one, this one's actually the easiest one. So this is where you can use visual or audio to pattern interrupt. So you don't have to come up with some sort of like copywriting hook. You don't have to necessarily do that. What you can do is you can use some of these simple visual or audio forms of pattern interrupting to capture people's attention. You could have a picture-in-picture, for example. You could also have a large headline that pops up on the screen, or a keyword that pops up on the screen that captures their attention. That's maybe a hot keyword that your market is really attracted to, that they're magnetized by, that's also related to whatever benefit and value proposition that your product has. You could do a zooming in and out really quick to capture people's attention. You could do in the beginning of the video where maybe you're talking about the benefit, and then you rewind it within 5-10 seconds, and they're like, what the heck, what's this about? And then they stop, and now they listen and they watch the rest of the video ad, for example. Or you could just use like surprising sound effects as well that capture people's attention, especially on like YouTube, where they're typically on their phones or on their TV watching YouTube, so their audio has a lot more play there versus Facebook, where people have to actually turn up their volume, or they have to, unmute the video. So there's definitely lots of visual and audio pattern interrupts that you can also use in your video ads to really capture people's attention right away, and then take them through your product and the benefits of your product, and who's it for, and the impact, and then the offer, and then the call to action, just to give you like a structure to follow there. And then finally, another one too is like a fortune telling. So this one's a little bit more unique. It might be a little bit more challenging to implement into your video ads, but this is where you find like an actual fact, a fact about your industry. And this fact is something that you can go against with your product because of what your value proposition of your product represents versus that stat that you find. So try to find a stat, and this does take some research, but honestly, good copy does take research, and so you do want to research. But find a stat that's interesting out there that you can essentially create a vantage point against with your product, and then use that as the pattern interrupt with like a warning or some sort of pattern interrupt in the beginning, and then stating what that fact is, and then stating what they could be. Let me give you an example here. So like warning, e-commerce companies have up to a 97% rate of failure. Do you want to be part of the 3% that actually thrive and succeed? For example, okay? So that's what I mean by fortune telling. So you're essentially scaring them a little bit. You're capturing their attention, but you're using a known fact that's actually a fact. And you go to tech.co if you don't believe me. And then after that, you're then saying, do you want to be part of the X%, or this market, or this group that achieves X, Y, Z? And you could relate that to your product. That's a powerful fortune telling pattern interrupt that you can use in your video advertising material, okay? So I just gave you 5 different archetypes of pattern interrupts that's going to help you get people to stop and watch your videos no matter where your video ads are being shown. So take action on this, take these ideas, use them, again, eliminate distractions, get into creative mode, put the creative hat on, and then brain dump creative ideas related to those 5 archetypes. And I promise you that you'll get better results in your video ads if you really try to work on this aspect of your videos that are selling your offer or selling your product, and you'll get better results from your video ads by incorporating pattern interrupts. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I truly appreciate it. If you appreciate this episode, go ahead and hit like. And also, if you want to be notified of future episodes, then go ahead and hit subscribe if you're on YouTube, or go ahead and share this on Facebook as well. This way others can also benefit from the content in this episode. Thanks again for watching this episode. Be sure to tune in to the next episode. I have a powerful guest coming on board you're going to love, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you for tuning in to the e-commerce performance marketing show. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment with a timestamp of your favorite part and share it with a friend. Until our next episode, here's to you and the success of your e-commerce business.